Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Cindy from CLB Craft Creations with day 2 of our 2015 holiday card series. And this week we are featuring the Sparkly Seasons stamp set. We're going to be using the snowman and the globe. And we're also going to be using the Versatile Christmas. We're going to be using the Merry Christmas sentiment and wishing you the best of times this Christmas. Or is that the one I used? No, I'm using the Wishing You a Season of Gladness, this big one here. I, in true fashion, have changed this card up completely. Just because I wanted something, I didn't like, first of all, I forgot to stamp this before I put the dimensionals on it, and then once I did it, I didn't really like how dark the black was, and so I played around with it and came up with something new. However, it is a shaker card, and we are still going to be doing the shaker card. So, what is a snow globe without snow in it? So that is still what we're making, and so let's get started. One of the things I changed was our card base, which now is a soft sky card base, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm still using the Designer Series paper. This is the Home for Christmas Designer Series paper. If that is not correct, it will be on the screen with the correct one, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we're going to be using this. I have some window sheets and some Whisper White as well. And to get started, we need to go ahead and punch the circle for the snow globe in the opening of the card base. Now I've gone ahead and actually attached my Whisper White cardstock, but that doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to center that up from the top of the card. We're going to center it up and then push it all the way in, okay? And then just go ahead and give it a punch. And then, like we did with our other card, or the other card this week, we are going to eyeball this piece here. Again, oh, sorry, this piece is actually cut at 4 by 5 1/4, so standard mat. And then I'm just going to eyeball proper matting on here, making sure that I've got 1/8 of a border all the way around. This doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, ideally you want it to line up perfectly, but it doesn't always happen. So then what we're going to do is, just holding on to that, we're going to flip it over and we're going to just re-punch. Okay, so now that will hopefully line up perfectly. Good enough for me. All right, now what I'm going to do is I need to, one, make sure that this is nice and pressed down. Get the frame itself is actually hollow, so it's just a line image. What I did is I placed that flat on my work surface, and I went ahead and put that on my block. And then I took the snowman image and then I just centered him up in the middle, and he basically just barely fits. So you should be able to get him lined up pretty well. Now I am going to stamp the image in tuxedo black. I don't really like how harsh the black is, but I really like the way that the snowman is in black. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp him in black. Okay, get that nice and inked up. And now that my card base is nice and flush, I can go ahead and just line him up in here. And the opening is plenty big enough, so you don't have to worry about getting ink on the inside of your card, or on the edge of your cutout. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and give that a second. Press that down. Oh no! He didn't stamp. So let's see if we can line this up. I'm not quite sure why that didn't fully transfer. In this angle I can't really see. Hopefully I lined that back up. I'm not quite sure why that didn't go down. But thankfully they're clear. Better? Okay, there we go. Perfect. I'm not quite sure why that didn't stamp fully. because there's no adhesive there, and it was flush. So, but thankfully, as you can see, because we have the photopolymer sets, it's very easy to go back in there and line it up. And I probably had my head in the camera, but I apologize for that. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm not going to be stamping on this because, again, I didn't like it the way it looked before. I am going to stamp. I have a strip here of 3/4 by 4 of Whisper White, and then I have a 1-inch strip by 4 of the Soft Sky, which is just going to layer behind this. I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is the Merry Christmas stamp set, or the Merry Christmas sentiment, in Mossy Meadow. Let's ink that up, and this is really juicy as well. And I'm just going to do my best to center that in that strip from top to bottom and left to right. Good enough. Okay, we're going to just give that a second to dry, and I do need to stamp the inside of my card. Now, I've gone completely against my my rules, and I've attached obviously this already to my card, and you saw that I had a little boo-boo there, because typically I would stamp before I attach it to my card. That way I haven't wasted an entire card, but we're working with it. Now I'm going to stamp the base that comes with this for the snow globe. I'm going to stamp that in soft suede. I was debating between soft suede and early espresso, but I was going for that wooden base look because I know most snow globes have a wooden base or something similar. And so I'm just going to get that on there. And you can stamp yours in whatever color you want. Okay, so there's, again, I was going with like a wooden base. So that is done. I'm trying to just make sure that it's straight here. It's also upside down. That's not good. If you are at all worried, use a stamp positioner. Use your Stampin' I'm just going to go ahead and go for it just for the sake of the video. Okay, and then I'm just going to line that up right underneath, hoping that it's straight. And it's not straight at all. So I will have to find a way to cover that up. I should have used my stamp positioner. That is a good reason right there why you use your stamp positioners. All right, so let's just go ahead and continue getting this done, and I will have to come back and fix that somehow. And all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attach. We're not actually attaching that to the base. So what I'm going to do is attach my piece of window sheet. Now I'm doing this a little different because I'm doing the cutout here so that it sees through to the inside of the card. So what I need to do is I need to add, I'm adding the adhesive around here, around my circle here. Get my gun here. And you just, this one isn't quite as important as getting it around the circle as most shaker cards, because we're actually building the shaker between the window sheets, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm going to just line that up, so I don't want it to be seen. Now, this is a very, very, very important part. You need to take your anti-static bag, your embossing buddy, and you need to rub over the surface of this, because we're going to use the Dazzling Diamonds glitter, and it's going to be staticky. So I just ran that over that just to kind of pull away some of that static. And I wiped away just the, oh, I gotta get that. I have a little bit of extra adhesive here. I'm just gonna rub that off real quick. Okay, so that is that. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the long strip, or the edges of your Stampin' Dimensionals, and you're gonna form the box around the circle. You're welcome to try and actually get this completely around if you want. I just think that it is just way too hard to make sure that it's perfectly secure. So what I do is I just take the strips and I make a box. As long as it's behind the the circle, no one's going to tell that it's a square versus a circle. So I want it right to the edge there. And then I'm just going to cut off the excess. Okay, and then I can actually put this down here for my other piece. And then I'm just going to keep forming the rest of my square, just using the rest of the dimensionals. Now so there we have, and I'm just going to stick this down here too, just to give the rest of our card some base. Okay, now I just need to add, I don't actually need to add adhesive to this at all. I need to add adhesive to, I take that back because I do need to put my window sheet here. So we're going to go ahead and just do the same thing we did for the other piece, just making sure that it's within, just outside that barrier of the circle so that your window sheet has something to attach to. Okay, and then we can go ahead and lay down our window sheet here. And then we're also going to rub this with the anti-static bag too. So just cover up that window. All right, I'm going to take my anti-static, just rub that all around there. Get rid of all that static. Okay, and then I'm just going to brush that away. Now taking your Dazzling Diamonds, and you could do sequins with this as well. I wanted it to look like snow, so that's why I went with the Dazzling Diamonds. And then you're just going to pour your Dazzling Diamonds into the little well that you've made. You can use as much or as little as you want. Try not to move it around, because now we need to take off the little strips here. And we don't want any of that getting into our dimensional. Okay, and then we're going to flip this over and we are going to center up our circle, which is actually a lot easier than you would think. Right now we have come, just give that little rub right there where you know that you've put your adhesive or your foam tape there. Okay, and there. So see, it's got a little mound of snow. And it kind of covers up the base. Covers up the base from the outside, and then when you open it up, there's the snow globe, which I think is so cute. But we're not done yet though. So here's our sentiment strip, which I'm just going to add with regular adhesive. And then this just kind of lines up edge to edge. Just center that up. Okay, and then I'm also just going to add this straight to the card. You could pop it up with dimensionals if you wanted. I'm just going to lay it straight down. And then we have one more finishing touch, and so I'm just going to center this between the image and the bottom. Oh, I love this one so much better. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and color real quick. It's just real quick coloring. I'm going to use the Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Write marker. I'm going to do his nose and the pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to use Real Red for his scarf. And just real quick. Scarf and his hat. Just doing every other one. Goes by pretty quick. Simple, simple, simple. And then I have a Wink of Stella clear shimmer pen. Just going to give that a little shake, and I'm going to add that to his little pom-pom and this piece of his little hat here. I'm also going to add it to, and you can add as much or as little as you want. You could even add Dazzling Diamonds here too if you wanted, but I'm just going to give this just a little brush of my glitter pen here. even give him a little bit of shimmer just to the sides here. He gets a little bit of sparkle, and that is our finished card. Again, I will have to definitely fix that because I would actually like to use this card. It's actually really, really cute. So there, and it's a little cloudy right now just because the glitter is still, there we go, that's nice and clean. So your snow globe card. So that one is the one that we just made, and this was my original sample, which again, I definitely love this one much better. I just think that it's, that's more my style. I like this one much better. So I hope that you'll give these a try. They're actually really fun and pretty quick and easy once you start kind of getting the hang of where you need to place things. And hope that you enjoyed day 2 of the holiday card series. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like the card. And subscribe to my channel so you get updates whenever I post a new video. And leave me a comment. And I'll see you next week with a new card.